This is Advanced Math, Unit 10, Lesson 6. For these notes, you should have a handout. If you didn't receive one or you've lost yours, you can always print it off the website. Okay, today we're working backwards. You will have these on the test. They give you the functions, the graphs, and you have to come up with the function. They give us these steps. These steps will not be given to you on the test, so you do need to remember the steps, but it's pretty straightforward. Step 1 is the obvious. It needs to be an equation, so y equals or x equals. We know it's going to be a fraction. So first thing you take care of are your vertical asymptotes. And when we do our va, ha, sa, va is the first thing we find, so it makes sense, vertical asymptotes. And our vertical asymptotes are these here, -4 and +1. So x plus 4, x minus 1, because we always get our vertical asymptotes from the denominator. Okay, next one, take care of any x-intercepts. I have 2 of them, there, and those go on the numerator. Give me 1 second. Tristan? Okay, thank you. 10 minutes. Bye-bye. Sorry about that. It's my kids wondering where I'm at. Okay, so where was I? X-intercepts. There's 2, -1, +3. And our x-intercepts come from the numerator. Remember, when I set it equal to 0, the bottoms always cross out, leaving me the top. So it's going to be x plus 1 and x minus 3. X plus 1 from the -1 and x minus 3 from the +3. And they're both crosses, so I'm just going to leave it a power of 1. Okay. If there is a horizontal, take care of that. Horizontal is, what is that? 2. Horizontal is 2. Now, horizontals being 2 only happen, like horizontal asymptote is 0 happens when it's bottom heavy. Horizontal asymptote being a number other than 0, like 2 or 1/2 or 3/4, whatever it may be, comes out when it's the same degree. And you can see here it is the same degree, x squared, which means my leading coefficient should be 2/1. So I'm going to put a 2 up here. And that's it. You just add it there at the top. Leading coefficient here is 2. 1, 2/1 is 2, which gives me a horizontal of 2. Okay, double check the y-intercept if there is one. Slants will take care of itself if all of the above is done correctly. I don't have a slant, so I don't have to worry about that last step, but I am going to double check the y-intercept. Y-intercept, you plug in zeros to all your x's. 2 times 1 times -3 over 4 times -1. Y equals, what is that? -6 over -4. Cross out your negatives. Y equals positive. You can use f of x or y. It doesn't matter. Make your fraction. First thing we take care of is our vertical asymptotes. There's only one here, and it's 3, so I'm going to put x minus 3. Now it said or holes, and or holes. I didn't have any holes here, but I do have one over here. It's at the -2. Remember, holes happen when you reduce, which means I'm going to reduce. I will end up being able to reduce an x plus 2 at the top and the bottom. Okay, why did that happen? X plus 2 reduces, meaning there's a hole at -2, and there it is. Okay. I have my vertical. I just took care of my x, not my x-intercept, my hole. And now I check if there's any x-intercepts. There are no x-intercepts. You can see that. And horizontal, take care of that. There is a horizontal. It's right here at 0. Do you see that? You can't see it, but you can tell it's approaching 0, approaching 0. If it's 0, that means when you took the limit as x approaches infinity, that it was bottom heavy, right? The limit as x approaches infinity of a bottom heavy function will always equal 0. And that is true. This is bottom heavy. There's more x's at the bottom. Degree is 2. So it's 0, and it is indeed 0. So I'm not going to add a coefficient up here of 2 or 3 or anything else. Check your y-intercept. Y equals 2. I plug in 0. -3 times +2. which is 2 over negative 6, which reduces to negative 1/3, and indeed that is your y-intercept. So it works. Okay, next one. There is a slant, but remember the slant should work out on its own. Y equals, or f of x equals. We do the verticals first, so -2, +1. There's a lot of numbers there. Those two right there are your asymptotes. So x plus 2, x minus 1. I have two x-intercepts there and there. That x-intercept is the -3, so x plus 3. And it crosses, so it's a power of 1. This one here, the x minus 2, it bounces, so it's going to be x minus 2 squared. Do you see that? Because of the bounce, that's going to be x minus 2 squared. Okay, let's see, what did we just do? We took care of the vertical, we took care of the x-intercepts. Horizontal, there was no horizontal. Double check the y-intercept, and the slant should work on its own. Okay, so double check the y-intercept. I have y equals 0 plus 3 is 0. I'm sorry, 3. 0 minus 2 squared is 4 over 2 times -1. That gives me 12 over -2, which is -6. And indeed, there it is there at -6. Beautiful, beautiful. It works out nicely. We don't have to check the slant. If everything is correct, if you've done everything here correct, it's going to work out on its own. Okay, last one. All right, I have only one vertical, and it's at 1, so I'm going to put x minus 1. X-intercepts, I have 2, a -3 and a -1. If there is a slant, a horizontal, take care of that. I don't have any holes. Horizontal. Now, there is a mistake, and I messed up purposely, and I don't know if anybody caught it. How do I know I messed up? Right now, it's top heavy. Top heavy means a slant, and there is no slant. Do you see that? There is a horizontal other than 0, which means it should be the same top and bottom degree, and it's not. Where's the mess up? Where's the error? It's right here. This should be squared. How do you know? Because these two arrows are going in the same direction, that means this was even, and we only use 1 or 2 when we're working backwards. So it is squared. See how that works? Where over here, these two were going in opposite direction, so that had a power of 1. These two are going in opposite direction. That's why we didn't put any powers there. They're just powers of 1. Same thing over here. These two are going in opposite directions. These two are going in opposite directions, which leads them to both the power of 1. And the same thing here. Going in opposite directions, which means power of 1. Those would have reduced. Power of 1, x minus 3 to the first power. And this one is the only one that had them going the same direction, which means it is even, which means it's squared. Okay, now the degree at the top is 2, the degree at the bottom is 2. That means leading coefficients, which makes sense. What is our horizontal? It looks like a -2. It's this number right here. So we just tag it at the top. Leading coefficient at the top is -2. Leading coefficient at the bottom is 1. -2 over 1, -2. Check your y-intercept. -2 times 3 times 1, all over 1. That gives me -6. And that is indeed the y-intercept. And that is it for this lesson.